Immune system of the soul. And today we're going to deal with the question, is your immune system working? What would you say? Is your immune system working? What would you answer? Just think about that one. And I'm just
I answer it. I would answer it. Need another dose.
You need another dose, okay?
Yes.
Well,
maybe you will share it today.
Yes, I hope the meditation that was played has started slowly entering you. The injection. Okay, thank you, Brother Mirko. So just a recap of the art of when we spoke about the awareness realization. We can move to the next slide. Thank you, Sister Nita. And awareness, this means noticing there is dis-ease occurring within your consciousness, that is within you. It means being aware of anything from quiet sense of uneasiness to turbulent thoughts and feelings about anything or anyone. The key to awareness is to know what I do not know. The state of unawareness is a trap. So really, as we have gone through a few sessions, just to be so aware of who you are, that being, the soul, that point of light, that energy that is in the center of the forehead. And on a daily basis, put some practices, some reminders throughout the day that I return and I remind myself of who am I? I am the soul, that point of light, that energy. So continue practicing, experimenting, and exploring this awareness, this consciousness of who you are. Second, realization. This means seeing through the feelings of dis-ease and realizing the viral belief that has infected our consciousness. This is only possible when we don't avoid the emotions that we feel and look into and through those emotions. Only then can we see exactly which viral belief sits behind the emotions and causing the dis-ease. Once again, this requires quiet contemplation. And so the meditation, the words that was guiding, that we need to deepen the sense of well-being. We need to take deep rest, allow rest from your story, from your day-to-day, whatever is going on. And let us take deep rest, refresh ourselves, recharge ourselves. So contemplation is so important, that we take time to relax, connect to ourselves, see who we really are, and experience and feel this beauty that is within me. The third one, transformation. Transformation takes place within the self through the rediscovery of what is true. Only the realization of the truth can overpower and replace a viral belief that is always the cause of dis-ease. Healing in this sense means restoring the energy of consciousness to its true state or vibration. The disappearance of the feelings of dis-ease are replaced by feelings such as peace and contentment, compassion and cooperation, and intentions such as caring and understanding. So in order for us to really change and transform, transcend, remember the word transformation, transcend form and action. So when the form that we stabilize ourselves in is that point of light, that energy, who we are. And then through working from inside of who we are, that is connecting to our original qualities, that then we can transcend, we can change, we can allow that transformation, that process to take place. So, is your immune system working? Once the immune system of the body can be weakened or impaired by unhealthy diet, our physical exhaustion, tiredness, or any viral infection, it always is working to some degree. So our body never shuts down, no matter what it is going through. So if our immune system weakens and something happens to us, our body functions, our body continues to function to some degree. And then the immune system of the soul, however, can be almost completely suppressed because we've ignored. There's been a total absence of self-awareness. And that really means an inability to recognize what is occurring within our consciousness, within ourselves. So we don't understand at all what is happening to us at that time, because the consciousness, the self, is subtle and we don't see it. We cannot, we can't see it. It's not tangible like the body. So the body can have those aches and pains, but the soul, when it's going through, there's a complete, almost like we absolutely unaware of what is happening to us. So the most vulnerable moment when this happens is that we are at our most vulnerable moment to the invasion of the vices, which is known as others' belief. So because we don't have a strong mind, we don't have that strong intellect, then whatever others are saying and whatever others are doing, we are then following. We are not even processing anything other than just following and doing what others are saying and doing. So with almost no self-awareness, we are so easily influenced as we start to absorb and assimilate such beliefs as it's both natural and necessary to suffer in life. Life is just a survival course. So be fearful and make sure you look after number one. Your success and security will be measured by how much money and stuff you can accumulate. So just see how we shift into the material and physical possessions and that which is outside of us, which is temporary. We become dependent on them. We allow that to fuel our fears, allow that to fuel our insecurity. Our security is jeopardized. So all of that starts to build. And can you imagine when we depend on all of that and how we weaken our own willpower, we weaken the self, the being, the well-being of the self is totally dropped. And so we don't realize, and we are blinded by all of this. It blinds our awareness because we don't know, we can't see, we can't truly see where we are at, and we think, well, that's fine, it's natural, that's the way life is. So dis-ease is living with such beliefs. So when we, our beliefs that these beliefs are truth, it blinds our awareness to the emotional signals that are telling us that we are we are experiencing some dis-ease. So when we are experiencing these moments, we then are totally unaware of what is going on. We don't know where we are, what we're doing. The emotionals take over. Even when within our own self, there is something that is signaling us, we absolutely are unaware of it. So the awakening of the immune system of the soul is essentially the same as the reawakening of self-awareness. It starts when we notice and become aware of, that is, conscious of our emotional discomforts. When we become aware that another emotion itself is uncomfortable and realize that it is unnatural, it continues with that realization that we are totally responsible for all our emotions, all our discomforts, all our moments of dis-ease. That realization comes, but we have to be awake to it. We have to see where it is coming. The realization of being totally responsible for all our emotions can only come when we become conscious of ourselves. We become aware consciously that we are this being, that there is this wonderful spirit, this spiritual being that is within us. We can go to the next slide, Sister Nita, thanks. So we are totally responsible, but we ignore that because our emotions have taken over, and all the discomforts, all our dis-ease for that particular moment, we seem to be totally unaware of it. So if we imagine a light bulb in a room, and also in the room there's a sensor. So whenever the intensity of the light radiating from the bulb goes below a certain level, that sensor will trigger an alarm. So our consciousness is also like the light, a radiant source of what is often called the light or the spirit or the spiritual light. That is who we really are. So when the frequency, the intensity, or the vibration of our consciousness goes below a certain level, we have an inbuilt sensor called our feelings that signals to us that something is not okay. Within me, I have that feeling something is going wrong. But what happens is that I then ignore it. I unfortunately have learned to ignore it, ignore this inbuilt sensor, or sometimes we even switch it off. We think, ah, man, that's normal. Everybody's going through the situation, or look at the world around us. And so we then treat it as a normal situation, and we ignore them. We ignore those built-in sensors that remind us, those feelings that come up. It also could be the example of the security system in our car. So if we want to understand that security system and how it works, until we don't actually study or read the manual and read the instructions, we won't actually know how it works. So what is happening to us that we don't understand how the sensor system of our consciousness works, because we haven't given ourselves time and opportunity to really understand ourselves, to be with ourselves, to go within, to spend time in silence, to spend time in solitude, and really deepen the sense of well-being, deepen this understanding of this well-being, of this being, of this beautiful light that is within the soul. So what is happening with us is that when we ignore these senses, our feelings that is signaling that something is wrong, then we become unwell. We start to go into a downward trend, and we actually don't know why this is happening to us. So until we don't give ourselves that opportunity to really start to understand this consciousness, this being, this conscious being, that who we truly are, that is our original nature, that is who we truly are, the identity of the soul, when we try to understand it. So when we don't understand how the sensor system of our consciousness works, then no one has given us a manual. No one has given us or taught us how to be self-aware. We didn't learn anything of this within our time of growing up, that it's important that as you take care of the body, you need to understand and take care of the well-being of your soul. So we don't know how to register and read our own feelings. We are unable to activate our sensor system, recognize the emotions that we feel, and to know exactly what is causing those emotions. So that inner sensor system is actually the gateway to the immune system of the soul as well, as that is its primary function. So that understanding of the soul is so important, that we take time on a daily basis to remind ourselves, who am I? I am the soul, this point of light, the life force of this body. I am the life force. I'm eternal. My original quality is that of peace, love, happiness, wisdom, power, purity, joy. So it usually takes a certain intensity of suffering for us to start taking notice of our feeling sensor. We will tolerate our dis-ease as long as we can before we actually start to realize. We sit up and notice that we are receiving a signal that something is not well, something is going wrong, that is calling us to change. We need to change something, which means that we have to realize something within us, within ourselves. When we eventually start to take notice, then we will have that aha moment. We will realize that, yes, there is something more that I can do to be well, to stay well, go well. Our body has a very powerful inbuilt immune system to protect its physical health. So similarly, the wellness of our being is dependent on the inbuilt immune system of the soul. However, it means only a few know exactly how it works. So we have to study, we have to understand, become knowledgeable about the soul, so that we maintain this consciousness and awareness of who we really are and what we really need to do. We don't want ourselves to break down completely and become dependent on, the facilities of the world, because those are temporary. When they are taken away, what are we going to do then? We will fall apart. We haven't built that inner capacity, that inner strength, the willpower to deal with all of those things. And so it is time that we truly understand that when we turn within and connect to that being, that peaceful being, that light, that awareness, the consciousness of who I really am, and keep building and fueling and increasing and accumulating that energy and that power, that when we are faced with those circumstances and whatever is happening around us, then we have the power and the strength to deal with it. So I will stop there and just take any questions, any thoughts you have.
Evening, sister. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you so much for every morning dose. And this morning, it's more reviving our immune systems. I just want to find out, as a Christian, we are always being told of us to die to self, so that we can be able to operate.
Yes.
And then the second question that I want to find out, somebody was asking me the other day, as a widow, because they expected me to break, but I'm 4 years and I've not shown any signs of pain, maybe to people. So is it normal? Because now they say they talk, they do this, they've never seen me breaking. So I'm trying to check whether am I aware or have I hidden my just on that one? Because for me, I'm okay. I'm okay, but
okay.
am I okay?
Yeah. So
Thank
thank you for that question. Those two questions. Yes, in the Brahma Kumaris, we also have a saying that die alive. So this is when we really truly understand that there are twofold aspects to who we are, which is one, the body, and the other is the soul. The body is perishable, but the soul is eternal. It never dies. So this shift of consciousness from the body to the soul, because our true identity is that we are the soul. But we have paid so much attention to the body and become so consciously aware of the body that everything we did was do is just the body, the body, the body. But actually, the soul is important. When the soul is in a good state, when the soul is in good health and well and stays well, then we will give that energy and the power to the body. So the die to the self is actually that we move away from that consciousness and awareness of being the body. So although the body is the costume and the soul is the actor, we do take care. So soul is primary, body is secondary. So dying means not to pay so much attention to the body or, mainly paying attention to the body, but to say that the primary attention is to the soul. And when the soul is in a good state, in good health, that consciousness, that transformation of that goodness will help the body. Yes, we do need to take care of the body. We need to be cautious, whatever we are doing, that we don't harm the body. But the dying alive is that the soul is living. We are living from the soul. That is the life force. And then the second question about the widow. And I would like to use the example of my mom. She became a widow when she was 36 years old. And that was in 1977. And we were 4 girls, we're all young girls. And yes, there was a little bit of pain and sorrow in the beginning. But as she grew and as she realized it was so important for her to live for her children, and in order for her to be in a good state of mind, she was helping us. So there was no a continuation of pain and crying and sorrow. And then when she came into contact with the Brahma Kumaris and started doing meditation and learning about the soul, she was totally free from the sorrow and the pain. And this is something that I saw with my own self and my own experience. So yes, when we have totally dealt with understanding that the soul is on a journey and it will go finish off its role, its part that it has to play wherever it is, it has to carry on. And so when you have understood that and you have given that to the Almighty God, that role of that soul will continue wherever it is. And in your mind, in your thoughts, you've made peace and you are happy. I don't think that's wrong. I really feel that you need to continue with your own life. You can remember the soul and the qualities of that soul and always give that soul peace, good wishes, happiness, because your thoughts generate an energy. So wherever that soul is, wherever it's continuing with its journey, you are helping, you are sending your good vibrations. So this is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. You made my day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or any thoughts? Sister Nita, is there anything in the chat?
No, nothing, just appreciation.
Okay, yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Any more comments? Any more thoughts? Questions?
If no questions, I can continue to ask.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. How?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, I'm saying I just need more clarity on how our brains operate. Or I don't know whether it is a connection with the soul, where it is I think what you said in your presentation is we're mostly taught how to deal with our bodies. Doing to the point that even when we are wounded, then we take all our stuff and put them at the back of our minds. So I want more clarity on that. And then we operate at the level.
Sorry, you are breaking, so I'm not totally getting your question, but if I understood correct, is to say that we as we grew up, we were never taught about the soul, that it is important to take care of our awareness, our being,
Yes.
that when our body had pain, yes, you know what happens is that when we are injured or something happens to us, we tend to have this inner, well, I don't know about inner strength, but somehow, you know, this, when we see other people and we say, oh, they're so strong, they're going through this illness or they're going through this pain, and look at them not complaining, then we think, okay, we can't, if we go through something, we can't do that. So it's also a belief system that we take on, that we can't show our pain. We have to show that we're strong, we can tolerate it. And so we tolerate. But what is happening to us is that we're building these emotions that then we have to later on deal with, because we haven't allowed ourselves to process the pain. If we are exhausted or we're tired, take a break. Doesn't matter if someone may come around and see you sitting or lying down and they think, oh, you're being lazy. No. So that is also something that we tend to, because we don't want ourselves to be shown as someone who is lazy, or someone who's taking a break, or someone who is ill or in pain. So we just tolerate and imagine afterwards what happens to us. And when we build those emotions within ourselves, then we have to deal with them and sort them all out. So let us allow ourselves to experience those emotions when our body is not well. Let us take a break, let us sleep, let us take rest, so that we can help ourselves heal. We can help ourselves deal with those things, because when we have dealt with it, it does actually lighten that suffering or pain or whatever we are going through. It helps us, rest helps us heal as well. So I don't think we should feel bad when we are experiencing pain, or we are experiencing any sort of illness, that we give ourselves that time and energy. I hope that is clear. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. If there aren't any more questions, then we can close with some meditation. So let us sit in a comfortable position, just allowing ourselves to be totally calm, peaceful, and restful. Let us take this moment and remind ourselves of our true identity. I am a soul. I am a being of peace. I am a peaceful being. Practice this. At any moment in your day, remind yourself of your true nature. My true nature is that I am a point of light, an energy, a being of light, the soul. I am peace. I am a being of peace. I am a peaceful soul. As I deepen this awareness of the self, I experience the beauty, the deep rest and relaxation, the simple beauty allows there to be this pure energy of peace, this pure, simple energy of the being, the simple being to shine. My heart is filled with gratitude and love, contentment, eternal appreciation for the self. I allow myself to experience the fullness of who I am, the freedom, the expansive, unlimited source of light and peace. In this deep sense of well-being, I feel rest, restoration, refreshment, recharge. By focusing on the consciousness of who I am, and also remembering
I think we lost Sister Aruna there, but I'm sure you got a sense of the meditation and the intention. So do keep that with you as you move through your day.